first-person shooter?
Son of a bitch.
No, that was Forsaken.
Oh,
That was how it started.
I love that we got son of a bitch as our opener.
What did you say? Forspoken?
Forspoken. I thought it was Forsaken, but apparently it's Forspoken. But it's a Square Enix game. It's a PlayStation exclusive.
I thought it was Forsaken.
I thought it was fucking Forsaken too. And this person is telling me, "Oh no, it's Forspoken." So,
All right, hold on a second. Forspoken?
Forspoken, which I didn't think it was a fucking word either. On top,
I don't know, man. That sounds like a very West Virginia word.
Yeah. Hey, easy on West Virginia, bitch. Let me see. No, it is.
So I have a joke for you then.
It is Forspoken.
Do you know how the toothbrush was invented in West Virginia?
Somebody's sister didn't shave?
No, because if it were invented anywhere else, it'd be called a teeth brush.
See what you did there.
You're welcome.
All right.
It is called Forspoken. Go figure. Huh.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. I just looked at the trailer thing on YouTube, and it's Forspoken. It looks really good though. I'm gonna have to end up snagging it somehow.
So we had 10 minutes of conversation for, well, this looks good. We'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Anyway.
Rich has been booted from the chat.
Speaking of telling people to fuck off,
hey, Tom.
Big old fuck you to Tom too, but a big old fuck you to Vincent Kennedy McMahon, that piece of shit.
Oh boy, he
fucking playing his fucking Gomez Adams looking motherfucker.
I guess we should, before we get into all this mess, what's anyone watch any or all or none of WrestleMania 39?
I watched all of it.
I watched just Sunday because it should be only one day.
I watched the Ring of Honor Supercard instead because I checked for good wrestling.
I watched the Edge and Balor match, and that's all I watched so far.
It was free for me to watch WrestleMania, and I would have had to pay for Ring of Honor, so I watched WrestleMania.
I didn't pay for. I mean, yeah.
Look, man. Listen. My days of piracy are over, and I need to learn again because I need to download shit for free. But no, I watched it. I had Peacock from Comcast, so
You said Peacock.
Jesus Christ. So I watched the whole fucking thing. I was actually, I gotta say, I was impressed by some of the matches that I just didn't think were going to be any good. I was impressed by the Ray and Dominic match. The Logan Paul and Seth Rollins match was Logan Paul and Seth Rollins. As much as I fucking hate Logan Paul, he's a good wrestler. He's just fucking good at it. I hate him, but he's good at it. I'm trying to think what match, like, really. There were a couple matches that were just kind of like, why are they happening? Like, anything with Charlotte Flair, I'm automatically going to be like, why the fuck is this happening? But no, I thought it was a really my biggest complaint is they got to stop jobbing out the fucking Demon.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of this one match I watched. It was about a 15-minute Hell in a Cell. Cool entrances again from both Edge and Balor. Good to see the Demon entrance. Not nearly as cool though as the smaller NXT Full Sail Arena Demon entrances, but it was still neat. No, you're completely right though. The finish is just crap.
Yeah.
So
I mean they've got it. It was amazing to see that fucking when he got hit in the face, that giant gash that opened up on his fucking head. Did you end up seeing the pictures of that?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see the pictures, but I did see. Yeah, go ahead, Bink. What do you think on that one?
It was a good sized gash. I mean, it looked like a stunt gone wrong, obviously. And then the camera quickly went away from Balor, and then they were just kind of showing Edge, and not showing the doctors trying to fix them up so they can continue with the match.
Yeah, the match itself was good. I hated those. I will say this. I made the comment to Danielle about 5 minutes into it. It's like they pretty much gave him carte blanche to kick the crap out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
The kendo sticks and the whatever. And I know Edge had come out and previously said that he had a cool spot plan, which I believe that was the pinning Balor in the corner.
That was good. I like that.
It's unique. It's one of those spots that I'm surprised didn't happen 10 years sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because it's very simple. But good on Edge, I guess, I don't know if he was the one that thought it up, but I would assume he would be. I guess the other part that bothers me is that there was a lot of speculation that they could have potentially have gotten the Brood back together on that, and Christian would have done a one night off from AEW. Obviously, that did not happen. So
yeah,
I also like the stand in there for when Balor went through the table. I was like, you purposely set that up. I was like, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't put like child protective corners on the edge for him.
It was really overall. I really did enjoyed everything about WrestleMania for the most part. Like I said, I was glad Rhea Ripley won, because again, fuck Charlotte. But the other match that was really really good and it was such a good payoff was the KO and Sami Zayn versus the Usos.
That main event in night one, didn't it?
Yes, it did. And it was amazing. It was such a good match. Not much else to say about that. The good guys won, which I don't know. I don't know if they could have gotten away with not having KO and Sammy win. They definitely could have done it. That would have been a Vince fucking thing to do. And if Vince would have taken charge on night one, I feel like that's what would have fucking happened. But and then the next fucking night you have Shane O'Mac come back and everybody.
Oh, that was my favorite episode, favorite match right then, with him blowing out his quad.
Yeah, then he has the famous McMahon Helmsley quad issues and fucking blows out a quad and then causes Snoop to have to do the worst people's elbow ever.
Hey, you know what? The props to Snoop for stepping up and doing something when he realized that Shane wasn't getting back up.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's why he's a Hall of Famer.
But it's kind of funny because Vince did the same exact thing about 20 years ago. Blowing out his quads.
Was it 20 years ago? I thought it was. Well, yeah, it might have been 20 years ago. When he was running down, they botched the finish, the Royal Rumble or whatever it was, and he's running down, doing his power walk down to the ring like fucking Vince McMahon with his fucking hemorrhoids hanging out. And he goes to jump in the ring and he bangs both his quads on the fucking ring apron, which, if you didn't know, is the hardest part of the ring. And they both pop, and then he can't fucking stand up.
Yeah, 2005 Royal Rumble. That's when that was. So it's kind of ironic that Shane does the same thing almost 20 years later. Now, granted, different event, but still.
Yeah, but still, dude, it's so fucking funny. I mean, it's not. It would have been better if it was Vince.
All right, so Rich, I have to ask you now. So you were I didn't watch all of WrestleMania, but you're the only one that watched the Ring of Honor Supercard.
Yes.
So we need your take on that, because I'm kind of curious, because I'm a big ROH fan. So
it was good. It's I never watched Ring of Honor before, so I can't tell you whether or not it holds up to the original incarnation or whatever. But it's basically, hey, we have a lot of people in AEW now. We're moving people over to this thing and calling it Ring of Honor, but it's AEW. We do get Maria Kanellis, or whatever the fuck her name is, and
Mike Bennett.
Yeah, and they're entertaining. We get Brian Cage, who's one of my heroes now, with thing, and we get Dalton Castle and the boys, and I love them. I'll watch whatever they're on. But we also got the what I thought was the best part, because they're always great. It was the triple team. I think it was 3 teams. The ladder match for the new tag team belts, and it was Top Flight, the Lucha Brothers, and I forget who the third team. I think it was the Kingdom, whatever one's Maria Callas's and Mike Bennett. But that had a horrible not a botch, injury. Martin, I don't know if you guys saw it or not. There was pictures later, but the Martin brother, who doesn't get injured all the time, broke his leg in such a way where the leg was just flopping all over the place.
Ooh, like the Sid Vicious thing?
Got away from it. Sorry?
Like the Sid Vicious or Sid,
Yeah.
like the jump when he jumped off the top rope 25 years ago.
I think it was Ray Phoenix took him off the top of the thing, and they did that flippy thing where you flip and they landed outside the ring, and he landed right on his leg, and you watched it snap, and then you watched it flop a little bit while he was in there.
That's yeah. That was when as soon as you said flopping around, that just reminded me of what was he doing at the time? Was it Psycho Sid or Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, whatever the heck he was?
When I know what you're talking about, yeah, it's one of them.
Yeah, whenever he jumped, he was on the top rope and he jumped, and then his leg snaps in mid boot, and it just flops around, and it's just one of the gnarliest looking things.
The only thing I don't like about the Ring of Honor is that's where Eddie Kingston quit AEW to work Ring of Honor, so I have to watch Eddie Kingston. I'm not the biggest fan.
Bink, do you know anything on?
And,
I was going to ask Bink on this. Do you know anything of Eddie Kingston?
Uh,
Yeah, good. You probably shouldn't, because we're not fans.
okay.
Yeah, if you want to go look up things to piss you off, just look up Eddie Kingston videos on YouTube.
When you're talking about injuries,
it was actually a 5-person team. It was the Kingdom, Aussie Open, Top Flight, Roosh, and somebody else in the Lucha Brothers.
I was thinking the backyard wrestling one where it's the meme where the guy jumps off from like 2 feet off the bottom rope, and both of his knees just pop back, and he just falls face forward. Have you seen that one?
Oh, I've seen a lot of that stuff. I'm trying to think.
It was some bigger guy, and he couldn't handle like a 2-foot jump, and it was
like Vince blowing out the quads.
Yep.
It kind of brings us to our topic at hand here, and this has been an ongoing topic we've had here for several episodes. Wouldn't you say, Bob?
Yeah, we've given this. God, I can't count how many times we've talked about this and
because you
speculated about it, and
we had a what if. So we started before we had this whole like network idea where we have sports episodes and beer episodes and different things that we do on our podcast. Bob and I actually ran out an idea called a what if series, which I think that could be something we revisit at some point. But we actually did a what if the WWE sold about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we were trying to think of prospective buyers and all sorts of stuff. And
we didn't come up with this one.
No. We're way wrong.
Yes, we were.
I will say this though. I'm just glad it's not
the Saudis.
I'm just glad it's not the Saudi Arabian government.
I am glad that it's not the Saudi Arabian government. My issue is the one thing we did call was him making a deal with somebody so that Vince making a deal with somebody that would allow him to stay in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what the fuck he did. And I mean, we'll see what happens on Thursday, but if you have watched anything on YouTube or read anything on the dirt sheets, it's looking like Vince is basically back in charge and morale has gone into the shitter. And like, I don't know if we're going back to what WWE was like prior to Triple H taking over and Vince McMahon being forced out. I might pay attention to the big 4 pay-per-views, but I'm out on Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I'm out on all of it because I don't want. We got rid of it. We got past it. We got past Vince McMahon fucking everything up. I don't want to go back to that. I'd rather, as much as I've been disillusioned with AEW lately, and I haven't really been enjoying that too much, aside from like certain things here and there, I'd still rather just watch strictly AEW than anything that WWE is going to put out under Vince McMahon.
You know, I thought that this was going to end up in the NBC, Universal, Comcast, whatever that conglomerate is, or Disney. I really did. The fact that it ends up in a UFC partnership ultimately makes sense. I mean, there's certainly nothing about that doesn't make sense. It's just your typical, big company merger. The fact that the matter is that it, as you just, restated, Vince stays in charge, and I don't like it at all. I'm not a fan of it. It looked so much better when he was on the shelf and far away from it. And I think we're entering the vicious cycle of WWE gets her hopes up, and then it goes back to, it's crap. And I think that's what we're going to be for the next year or 2 years, however long he's in charge.
Until his fucking bloated corpse finally dies, like for good, we're fucked. And I don't like to talk poorly about people. I don't like to wish death upon people. And I'm not going to wish death upon him. But fuck, the sooner he gets out of the fucking WWE's way, the better for everybody.
He just needs out of the business. There's a Jeff and I are in the education business. There's no mistaking that. And there's a big part of seeing people that overstay their welcome. And it's people that, and I'm not saying that like they necessarily work past their retirement or whatever, but they've given all they can give, and then it starts becoming counterproductive. And that's exactly what's happening here. The problem is it's been happening for 10, 15 years.
Right.
Or more, really. I mean, I guess since the Attitude Era ended.
Well, and look. So what I was doing when you guys were in the lead up and I was staring at my phone, I wanted to look at what happened on AEW tonight, because there were some notable things that could have happened that could actually have been affected by Vince and the sale of WWE. So the first thing being Jay White. There was rumors of Jay White showing up either at WrestleMania or on the Raw after WrestleMania. Because, during WrestleMania, anything can happen during WrestleMania. And that Raw after WrestleMania is typically one of the best shows of the year. And it was absolute fucking dog shit. And one of the expectations was that Jay White might show up. Well, guess what? Jay White,
he's all elite, baby.
He's all elite. Showed up on AEW in the opening segment tonight. And then FTR, who famously left WWE because Vince didn't like him, because Vince viewed him as an old school WCW tag team, even though they never wrestled in WCW.
He viewed him as the Brainbusters, basically.
Right. And so he didn't see a place for them in WWE. Triple H did. Obviously, Triple H brought him into NXT and made him stars in NXT. Well, their match tonight was to determine if they would leave AEW, and they won their match. So they're not leaving. So you've got that. And also, as an aside, this doesn't affect anything, but I think it's cool. AEW is going to run a show in Wembley Stadium.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, considering the history, too, because that goes back to SummerSlam 92, correct?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
See, now I only watched half of AEW tonight because I was getting ready for this podcast. I was going to fall asleep otherwise.
Did I ruin it? Sorry, man. Did you tape it and I ruined it?
Yeah, but that's okay. I kind of I expected FTR. Yeah, I expected them to lose the match and wind up on ROH, kind of like what they did with whatever. So this is better. That means this was for the championship too. So did they become champions, tag team champions? I guess.
Let me see. So Yeah. So yeah, they won the championship too. So they beat the Ass Boys and won the AEW Tag Team Champions. It's their second reign.
I didn't think Ass Boys should have won anyway. I think they were just transitional things anyway. What was I going to say? Oh, next week we're getting Jericho versus Keith Lee, which might be entertaining.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Rich, I love how you said that you were preparing for this, which
Yes.
is probably the most preparation anyone's ever done for this.
I drank a Monster and I tried to stay awake. That's how I'm prepared.
Did you put on preparation H too?
No. Normally I drink alcohol, but I'm on antibiotics right now, so I couldn't drink.
Would you say that preparation H feels good on the whole? Wait, hold on. So my job, I interact with the public, and one of the fine young people that we had the pleasure of having an interaction with the other night, and I had to look up his information, was a young man by the name of Austin Powers.
Nice.
Born in 96. How much do you think he hates his fucking life?
Nice.
This is reminding me that the new season of Beavis and Butthead starts on 4/20.
Nice. Oh, that's other news that came out. Clone High. They just released a trailer for the new reboot or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah, the old episodes are available on HBO Max now too for streaming. No Gandhi though.
No, they didn't show him, but they've got to bring him back.
Nope, no Gandhi.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? So much for that.
No more Black and Tan.
Yeah, that's what they got to bring him back, because you can't have George Washington Carver and not have Gandhi.
I'm having a feeling they're not going to have George Washington Carver either. But
what the fuck?
Yeah.
They fucking should. With his little dancing peanut.
Sorry, ways to use the peanuts.
We're going too deep into Clone High here for a wrestling episode. But we'll have to have a Clone High. Again, I've got the DVD set. It's wonderful, lovely. But we'll have to. Oh, you know what? You know what the problem with that DVD set is? And this is going to bring it back around. But just like the ECW tapes and DVDs, they lost the rights to the music.
Oh.
ECW never had the fucking rights to music. So they had to dub over it with generic shit.
And I really wish I would have thought, I have some ECW content, covered, recorded. It was legit on Channel 48. I wish I really had a lot more of that, or had the wherewithal to buy all that crap back in the day off of RF Video, because they were selling that stuff like straight off the press, music and all.
Nice.
Man, oh,
you mean Metallica never got paid for all the stuff with the Sandman?
Through Napster, I think they did.
Who's Metallica?
Yeah, see,
or Pantera for RVD.
Who are they?
Yeah, they had so many artists. It was crazy. You just think about like going through like Shane Douglas was Deep Purple. They went through that, and then obviously you've already mentioned Sandman with Metallica. Tommy was Alice in Chains. Pantera with RVD. New Jack was
Swamp Candles did everything.
Exactly. No, Swamp Candles just did BWO. That was actually legitimate.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I thought the Swamp Candles just did covers of all those songs for ECW, so then that way they could use them.
I know this is getting off on a tangent, but you just mentioned BWO, and for some reason, YouTube recommended a video with Stevie Richards, who was in like bad shape, like a back injury or something, like his back went out, so he just had to get surgery. And he was saying how much of a douchebag Raven was, which isn't surprising, but apparently they didn't get along at all. Huh?
Who?
Raven.
Oh, Raven? Oh, yeah.
It's Raven.
Scotty Polo.
Like they put him in the I forget the flock. He's put him in the flock, and so you're going to learn from this guy. And he tried to learn from him, but he just said he was a dick. Raven was just a dick to him the whole time.
Sounds about right.
to Philadelphia's own local legend, Stevie Richards.
Stevie Richards. Actually, it's funny. So I get to thinking about that. That was one of the first times like Bink and I connected. We're sitting there drinking beers. It's like, you like wrestling? I like wrestling. And then we like within 5 minutes it was ECW. And it's funny, like it's a weird like familial thing. Like once you say those words, it's like you're like like you're on the same level of understanding.
Right.
It's weird. And I some of the best memories I have, at least as far as wrestling is concerned, always go back to ECW. So screw Vince McMahon. He wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no love lost for the guy other than the fact that we got some great stuff over the years through different pay-per-views, whatever. But like, really, my great memories always go back to ECW.
Yeah, Vince is an asshole, and I don't want to defend him at all. But if you look at like his legacy, if he would have even if he left because he was the sex scandal or whatever, but had he stayed gone, the legacy of creating the televised nationwide thing, like that whole creating basically what we know of as wrestling, would have been good. But then he had to just go and spoil it by staying too long.
Well, and that's the interesting thing too. Like prior to the pay-per-view thing, like the whole concept of WrestleMania was behind closed circuit. So they would air the WrestleManias in what, movie theaters? Correct?
I guess, or bars, maybe the same.
Yeah. So they my understanding was they would air it in certain locations, because it was like, I guess, predates the pay-per-view era.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it applies to at least WrestleMania 1 and 2. I don't know beyond that. Where it would be closed circuit, so you had to go to a movie theater, you had to go to some place where they would be airing this, but it would be broadcast to that location, but it would be regional. So, while it wasn't sent to your living room, it would be sent to this big location. And it was a concept that was far-fetched because at the time wrestling was still very regionalized. So he kind of brought it to the forefront of, hey, one company over the country. And then obviously, his whole thing was making it worldwide. And I think that's the part that bothers me, is that like whenever you put Triple H in charge of NXT the first time, you started to see how cool things could be, because the original iteration, I've said this before on here, the original NXT iteration from like 2013 to 17, 18 timeframe, whatever, black and gold era, was some of the best wrestling it's ever been. And they started branching out with NXT UK, and that was excellent stuff. 2017, 18, 19, whatever. And then there was talks about doing NXT Japan, and it was like you could really see where this was going.
Well,
and obviously,
the same reason why ECW was so mind breaking to us is if you look at Vince McMahon, he's stuck in that 60s, 70s era wrestling where it's just two big guys in a ring punching each other. And that's like do a leg drop. Oh, that's fantastic. It's just the bigger the guy, the better. It's just, let's have a crazy guy. And then you bring in like ECW, where they start introducing, that's the first place I ever saw Lucha Libre, was in ECW. And you see all the wow, there's still all this other stuff exists. I don't have to just watch Hulk Hogan drop a leg every night or
big meaty man slapping meat.
Jake the Snake. Yeah.
I was actually curious.
Coming in with a grocery cart of just shit to just beat the shit out of people.
That's all I was curious to see. Like Bob and Mick, I know you watched, but like Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
It was fucking terrible.
Oh, it was bad.
It was fucking horrible.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I expected. I didn't watch it, and the minute I saw that on the card, it's like, this has Vince written all over it. It's your big guy versus big guy, and it's just it's great Kali crap.
I don't know if this guy wrestled. I'm sure he was an independent guy, but in AEW, mostly on Dark, they have this guy Willie Lee, I think it is, or Willie Mack rather, just this big black guy. But they've been putting him against like Serpentico and little guys, and it's been fun to watch.
Willie Mack has been.
He looks old, so.
Yeah, he's been around.
Yeah.
So the problem with with Omos, and Brock being the first match on the first night was it didn't get things off to a huge start, but there was nowhere else on the card to really put it. And then if you think, and then come Monday, Omos wasn't even supposed to be on fucking Raw, but then of course Vince is there running things, and when he thinks of Omos, his pants get tighter, and so he fucking threw him on. And Omos, did you guys hear the story about that? Where Omos was so in the point of not thinking he was wrestling, he had to scramble to find gear. He got rid of his gear from WrestleMania. And so he scrambled to put together shit to wear on Monday because Vince all of a sudden was like, oh, hey, I want to see big meaty men. And I believe on Monday he squashed Mustafa Ali.
Oh, and talk about somebody that's just been bowled over.
Right?
Ali is, I'm sorry, one of the most talented wrestlers, probably in the top 20 on the planet right now, and has been for quite some time. And just that's ridiculous.
Right.
How
he and Ricochet aren't a tag team just wrecking shit, I will never understand.
I don't know. It sucks because it's like you have, again, it's all brought around like the old man's gone. We're finally doing some good things. And then he pulls the wool over everyone's eyes. And nothing more, and Bobby, you said it best, and I believe in a text thread that we have, is that this is nothing more than a power play, basically. I'm paraphrasing you, obviously.
Yeah.
But this was just so he could retain power.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous because it's like, I absolutely love wrestling and always have. I have not really kept up with it since the Royal Rumble. But the fact that now we have to deal with this for at least another couple of years.
Isn't he in his 80s still? Like, how can you? He's
77, right?
77.
Yeah.
So I think I think we discussed this in one of the other ones too, that he'd rather be in charge and have it not do well than Triple H be in charge and have it doing well.
Yeah. No, absolutely. He's such a fucking egomaniac. Yeah. He doesn't give a shit. He would rather destroy it than have someone else take over.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of us said that. I can't remember which one. I'll have to go back and listen. If any one of you fans that listen to this, all 6 of you, it's in the archives.
I listened to it. So
okay.
5.
It's in the archives at noisebrigadepod.com.
Do we have a Discord or someplace where they can put comments?
No, we really need to do a Twitter space.
Twitter spaces, yeah.
Yeah, we need to do one, but
I'm leaving Twitter. Twitter's dead.
Who would show up? Would Johnny Bench show up?
Oh yeah.
You better believe he would.
Do any of you guys watch the show on HBO Succession?
No, I've
That's
heard
basically
it.
like the McMahon family right now.
Dude, can we seriously? I gotta ask you guys. You've seen the pictures of him, right?
Mustache like Juan Cena.
Yeah, he's got the little pencil. Dude, I think he's trying to be Gomez Adams. I'm serious when I say that. But what the fuck? Also, what the fuck happened to his face? Like, what did he just get shit injected into his everything? He looks like an overcooked hot dog. Like his eyes look like buttholes. He's got the Gomez Adams mustache. It's dark, and he's got hair that's darker than my eyebrows. Tom, it's darker. It's probably your color hair, is what Vince has now.
It's definitely natural.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's but he's he looks fucking awful.
Oh, Rich, you'd appreciate this one. Vince looks like Vincent Price.
Don't be mean to Vincent Price.
No, but he does.
Vincent Price was never big though. Vince is always
yeah, but I mean, with the
I know what you're saying.
Little mustache. Yeah,
I saw the mustache. Yeah, I got John Wooder vibes from the mustache when I saw it. Mustache.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I do get the John Waters vibes.
So, all right. So Vince should redo the opening to Thriller, right? Is that how this should go now?
Gilbert Godfrey used to do that great with his impression of Vincent Price. He played it off super Fen. It's awesome.
Oh man, R.I.P. I keep forgetting
Yeah.
that Gilbert died.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vince McMahon's still alive.
The foulest stench was in the air, pal.
Oh, John Aston's still alive too. He just turned like 93.
Oh, the original Gomez is still
Yeah,
alive.
original Gomez. Yep.
Nice.
We should. That's the next match. That should happen at WrestleMania Backlash.
John Aston versus Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Winner gets to live.
John Aston. He's also the only living cast member from that Addams family. The rest of them are all dead.
Really?
That sucks.
Wow.
Even thing?
Lisa, wait, did Lisa Loring just die, or she's? I think Lisa Loring just died. I gotta double check that, which would make him the last one.
It should be John Aston versus Vince McMahon, and then the winner gets to live. The
Yeah, Lisa Loring
loser,
died January 28th. Yeah, he's the last living.
the loser has their hand chopped off and becomes the new thing in the next version of the Addams Family.
You could take
Yeah.
my hand for that if I can put her all over Jenna Ortega.
No, not in Wednesday.
No.
In the next Addams Family.
Oh boy.
Jesus.
You know, the funny thing is, I don't believe that this is the first time that we've gone there.
Well, no, it's okay. We decided that she's over 20 something, so she's
No,
not.
she is. She's 20. Yeah, she's 20 something.
It's legal. Still creepy, but legal.
Still creepy. Still very creepy.
Yep.
Rich.
I told you the first place I ever seen her in was that movie called X, a horror movie where they're filming a porn movie in the cabin.
She was in she's in the newest Scream, right?
Yeah. This
Wait, what scream are they up to now?
like 7, 6. I think it's 6.
So they're not quite up to Saw numbers yet?
5 too many.
They're supposed to be good after 4. Like I think 4 is the one with Kevin Smith and it's bad, and then like the other ones get better after that.
Well, I think I saw 5 and it was okay. That's where I stopped.
I got like 2 more Halloween movies to watch. Maybe it's just 1 more. I don't remember. Was it a trilogy this last one, or was it only 2 of them?
What was Scream?
No, Halloween.
Oh, I don't know. I gave up on those.
Uh,
Too many.
Besides the obvious answer of too many, how many Fast and the Furious movies are they up to now?
10. This last one.
104, I think.
Yeah, I think it's 10 because this one's called Fast X.
That's why I said that. So that's the only reason why I knew it.
Is this the last one, or are there still 2 more?
Oh, there's no way this is the last one.
And are there spin-offs, or was that one that was like Hobbs and Shaw? Was that like part of the 10 of them, or is that like a spin-off?
No, that was a spin-off, and I don't think they're going to do a second one because am I correct in like didn't The Rock and Jason Statham not do their scenes together or something like that?
Yeah, and then apparently like they had some kind of falling, like him and I guess Vin Diesel had a falling out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't follow that stuff, but
You know
I
what?
would. He got replaced with John Cena basically.
The Rock should go back to wrestling after that Black Adam movie. That was horrible.
Well, I really was hoping that he would end up showing up at WrestleMania. I knew it wasn't going to happen, but especially when Kevin Hart showed up as like the special, like he was the cold open host is what they called it. So he did some pre-recorded shit for both nights, and I was really hoping that meant The Rock would show up in some way, shape, or form. And obviously, he didn't. So that's
The cool thing, though, and we haven't mentioned this yet, and even though it sucks because Vince is going to maintain control, is that WrestleMania XL or 40 is happening at a very special place.
Detroit.
And no, Bink, it's not at Detroit, and it's not at your beloved Soldier Field either.
The Spectrum?
No, that doesn't exist anymore, Rich.
Oh, bummer. ECW Arena. Pull
That
out.
would be awesome.
Isn't that getting knocked down?
No,
Dude, I
No.
think it is.
no, they're not.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain they
Dude, I
announced
will chain myself to it.
Where's it
I'm
going to be,
with
Tom?
you.
Just say it.
it's Lincoln Financial Field, home of the Philadelphia fucking Eagles.
Home of your Philadelphia Eagles.
Your NFC champion, Philadelphia Eagles. Your 2024 Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia motherfucking Eagles. The team that has the MVP of the NFL for 2023, Jalen fucking Hurts.
Weren't they supposed to win last year and then just blew it?
Fuck you.
Oh, shit.
Hit my music.
They blew it, and they're old.
If your title is just
and
NFC champions, that means they lost. So.
Oh boy.
Well, you know, I mean,
Andy Reid's a Super Bowl winning.
Hey Bob,
manager.
Bob, just real quick. He's a Bears fan.
I know that's what I just said. We could be the Bears.
The Bears.
Hey, you
Half
guys,
your team is gone from this
signed
year.
one of our cast-off linebackers. You'll be all right this year.
Half your team is gone.
What
They had to
half?
pay for Jalen.
The half that sucked. We'll be fine. Don't you worry about us, Dicka.
The Phillies are doing well already.
Oh boy, no. We don't talk about that right now. That's a Steve Jobs thing. Nope.
Can you see my fucking head turn around?
How many championships
good
has Philly
thing
lost
you-
this last year? 2?
I don't know. I was talking over Bink. What did he say?
How many championships has Philly lost this past year? 2 at least? 3?
Yeah, soccer too.
Oh, that doesn't count.
We lost soccer and the World Series on the same day.
Soccer doesn't count.
No, I know.
It really doesn't, but that was actually, you know what? That was probably like the precursor to
Wait,
how.
4. Because we
Yeah.
lost the USFL too.
Yeah.
What's the USFL?
The whole soccer one was probably the precursor to everything, only in the sheer fact that that game was lost on
a penalty kick.
penalty kick. Yeah. That should have been like the light that said, you know what? This probably isn't going to be good.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a penalty kick because there was an actual penalty. These dumbasses actually use fucking penalty kicks in their championship game to
Dumas.
determine who wins if there's a tie.
Yeah.
These dumb motherfuckers can't learn from hockey and see that you use penalty kicks during the fucking regular season and then or penalty shots during the regular season, and then you actually play the game instead of having a skills competition.
Can we go back
Again,
to sports
soccer.
entertainment? Sports
Well,
entertainment.
sure, you're right. Soccer sucks. But yeah, so back to sports entertainment.
Well, I heard another reason why Rock wasn't on WrestleMania is he was initially trying to buy WWE.
Oh,
Enlighten me on this one.
yes,
'cause
I haven't heard this one.
It came out about a couple weeks ago that he was trying to buy WWE. I guess he had the money, a couple, $3 billion or whatever it was, and I guess it fell through, and probably because Vince wasn't getting enough power.
Dude, can you imagine that? He just goes around scooping up Vince's failures. Not that the WWE is a failure, but goes up scooping up things that Vince fucked up and then turning them gold.
XFL. Ooh, dude. I would, that's the thing. Like,
Who's? Oh, sorry. I know where.
No.
Who do you think that's the first to leave now that Vince is back in charge and they're owned by another company?
you mean wrestler or person in charge?
Wrestler.
It's going to be a female or it's going to be a person of color or both.
Let's see. Definitely not Charlotte Flair. She hasn't made.
No, Charlotte Flair announced that she's taking a hiatus.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay, but she's not leaving though.
No, she's not.
Yeah.
She's not leaving, but I don't know how much longer she's gonna do it.
She's going away for a while, but it's okay because Ric Flair's coming back in a dress and he's going to take over for her.
I mean, it's practically the same thing. So
Yeah, I won't notice too much of a difference.
yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think who would leave first, wrestler wise.
Well, the problem is we don't know.
Well, then Ric Flair could do Bud Light commercials then, right?
The problem
Ali.
is we
That's
don't
who
know-
is Ali.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, dude. Ali
Right.
should leave.
Brock doesn't seem happy.
Ricochet should leave. Brock's pissed because now he can't play them off each other anymore.
He won't
Can't play
leave.
UFC and WWE off each other anymore.
No, he won't. Well, he can't. He can't do that anymore because he's not able. He's not able to do the UFC crap anymore.
He's not?
No, he can't. There's no way. Like, I mean, physically, at this point in his career, there's no way he could step foot into a UFC,
Well,
right? I mean, unless I'm all wrong. I've always perceived. Again, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong here. I've at least perceived that to be somewhat realistic. I've never perceived the UFC to be 100% real because I know there's a lot of entertainment behind it, and that's why it's a $12 billion corporation before this merger. I still don't see any point in time right now where Brock Lesnar steps back into a UFC arena.
I thought
What-
there might be one last run in him. I always perceived it as 100% real though.
I want to see Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk in a UFC.
That I would actually like to see that, if for no other reason than I think I'm finally done with Punk. I think I finally turned the corner and I'm in the anti-Punk camp.
Bink, you got any thoughts on CM Punk?
It's from Chicago. Love him.
Crap.
Also from Chicago, just got to give her a shout out, is Sky Blue, who's getting slightly better in the ring, but her ring attire is fantastic.
Have you bought a pair of bottoms yet to wear on your face like a ninja?
No, not yet. Saving up for it.
Saving up for it. It can't be that much.
Nah.
I actually got to see CM Punk at Carbondale at SIU when they came, when he was in like the reboot of WWE, and that was fun. Just seeing him up close and what he can do, and then when he did that speech, I got a lot of respect for him. And then he went off the deep end, and haven't really paid attention to him too much.
Yeah, he kind of did the same thing. He kind of went off the deep end again.
Mm-hmm.
Even more so within the last, about a year or so?
I think they should just have him host the scrums.
I don't disagree. I think that was a fun time.
I don't know. Gotcha.
You can pay him in muffins.
Yeah, I really wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt and everything, and then the more I'm hearing again, and obviously it's probably somewhere in the middle, but it just seems like everything he said since then has just painted him in a bad light, and I'm over it,
We've I think we've done an entire episode or close to it on him before. I used to love his early work. I say used to. I do love his early work. His ROH into NXT, or what was prior to that.
ECW. He was one of the
the NXT ECW phase.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
wasn't
call
ECW
that.
by
That's
any
not really ECW. It's NXT back
it was
then.
just a reboot.
WWECW.
Yeah, there you go, Rich. But then into the pipe bomb and all that.
He beat the zombie, man. Come on, that's tough.
Wait,
No, that was the
he
Sandman.
one
The
that fought
Sandman beat the
zombie?
zombie. No, the Sandman did.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Sandman
Yeah.
was beating all the
Kendo stick.
monsters.
Yeah, you beat him with a kendo stick. Yep.
Yeah.
But then I, so much as watching the inaugural episode of AEW Rampage, and then that was CM Punk's, return, if you will. My thing was like the guy, did some great stuff in the business, but I will always view him as a prima donna. I absolutely love his work, his mic work, whatever, but there was just something about him that always rubbed me the wrong way. However, the whole bit with, we've talked about on here before, with him getting into it with Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, whatever, to me, those guys were viewed the same way. So I don't know. I guess it's like very similar personalities, and they clashed and whatever.
Prima donnas, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one guy's called the god of wrestling, so it kind of tells you where his mindset is.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sure there's still something left there to give, but I don't know if that's to the masses. I don't know. What sucks is that we still have to deal with Vince.
Yes. And
And
his fucking microwave hot dog face.
yeah,
Don't know
Anyone
what's
have
going on
any-
with Andrade anymore. Andrade was supposed to be going to WWE again too, and now it's just kind of he's in limbo.
you
Yeah,
probably
he
heard because he's married to Charlotte, isn't he?
Yeah. He's not going. He won't go back until Vince is done. He'll wrestle
Wait,
Indy.
Charlotte's
he'll
not a
wrestle-
lesbian?
Hmm?
Charlotte's
No,
not a lesbian?
No.
Oh.
No, she's actually married to Andrade is how I know him, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
what's his
I didn't know that.
Andrade's not his real name.
no, he's got like 10 other names.
Andrade, Estrada,
Idolo, I don't
Yeah.
It's weird.
Andrade El Idolo was what he
Yeah.
was in AEW.
AW, yeah. I can't what was he? It was Monty Andrade, right? On the independents or no?
I don't know. I don't know what he was on the Indies. I know he was. What did they call it? CN?
It's Andrade. Yeah, he's a weird name, like Andrade LC. He has a. All right, hold on, I gotta look this up now. See, he's one of those weird guys that's gone by so many different names. Oh God, good Lord, this is gonna get strange. His real name is Manuel Alfonso Andrade Oropeza.
And I don't think Charlotte Flair is attractive at all, but she's more attractive than that Hart guy's daughter.
Andrade Cien Almas.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Are you on Natalie?
Yeah, that one.
You
Yeah.
think that Charlotte's better looking than Natty Neidhart?
What is wrong with you?
Dude,
I don't like either of them. Neither of them can hold a candle to my sky.
neither of them can hold a candle to your Harley Quinn Smith.
What's her face? That other Sakazaki. She was on Ring of Honor too, and it's not usually my style, but Willow Nightingale and Athena, I'd be the meat in that sandwich.